Hey, welcome back, FBC-dc. This is our COVID-19 update for the week. So we've got some things going on around the church that we want to make you aware of. Last night, I want to say a special thank you for everybody who came and prayed and passed out pizza and directed traffic. We were able to pray with approximately 100 different cars because we passed out 100 pizzas last night and had great response. People in our community need that prayer. We saw the hurt on their faces. We saw the fact that they needed prayer. We saw the gratitude with which they received those pizzas. And so thank you, folks. Thank you, First Baptist Church, for the opportunity to share with them. We're going to try that again next Tuesday, 6 to 8. This time, those of you who helped, we want you to come back. This time we're going to have shade. We're either going to have awnings or we're going to do it at a different part of our church. And so please be here for that next Tuesday. I believe that's August the 4th. And we're going to do that 6 to 8. This week we gave out those pizzas 6 to 7. So we're going to go until the pizzas are all given out. But thanks for that, FBC. And we want to update you as far as what we're looking at as concerning our life group Sunday school regathering schedule, as well as maybe going back to one service. Here's the process we're thinking about and trying to think through right now. In order to do that effectively, efficiently, responsibly, we're going to need to know numbers. And it's real important that we still be able to, for a while we need to socially distance. So we're going to ask you to register for those life groups, both adult and children, youth life groups. And we have a way to do that. We have a connection that we want to make you aware of. If you want to receive updates to what's going on at First Baptist Church, then we're going to ask you to text to 94000, 94000. And what we're going to ask you to text is FBC-dc to that number. And then you will be given some links once you do that to either a decision that might need to be made on Sunday mornings, either joining the church, being baptized, and making a commitment to Christ. We'll follow up on those kind of decisions. We're also going to have a link for prayer and help. So you'll see that link. And then we're going to have a link to pre-register for life group classes. So those 3 links is what we're going to look at doing. And if you want to make sure you're in the know as to what's going on at First Baptist Church, please go to 94000, 94000 and text FBC-dc to that number. And once we get an idea of numbers, then we'll have a better idea of a date. It's going to take us a little time to get all that information gathered. So we are looking somewhere after the start of school, which is on August 17th, and then probably a few weeks even after that before we can actually nail that down. But we're in the process, so we just kind of want to give you an update. I wish I could give you a more solid date at this time. We don't know exactly how long that's going to take, and a lot of that will depend upon when people are ready to come back and regather for those events as well, for those classes and small groups. We're continuing our series on Daniel, and that's where our life groups are going to pick up when we start life groups. And some of you have been following along. We've been in a sermon series, Faith in the Face of Adversity, or Faith in the Fire. And this week we're really looking at a key text, chapter 3 of the book of Daniel, as we look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace. You know the story. If you'll remember, King Nebuchadnezzar had that dream. Daniel interpreted that dream. And remember, the dream was about this huge statue, this huge colossus. And now in chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar remembers part of that dream. He actually creates a 90-foot tall a statue 9 feet wide, tall and slender, but it's not made of gold and silver and bronze and iron like his dream was. It's just made of pure gold, because he remembers the part he wants to remember, like a lot of us do, and it's the part about him. And so he commands the kingdom to bow down to that. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego decide they're not going to. He flies into this rage and said that whoever doesn't is going to be thrown into the fiery furnace like he'd already decreed. And here's their response to that. He says, what God, in verse 12, he says, they pay no attention. They refuse to serve your gods and do not bow down to him. These little snitches of the astrologers, these wise men the king has, they don't bow down to the golden statue. And so Nebuchadnezzar flies into this rage and says, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in verse 14, that you refuse to serve my gods or to worship the gold statue I've set up, which is basically a statue to himself? I'll give you one more chance to bow down and worship the statue I've made when you hear the sound of the musical instruments. But if you refuse, you'll be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. And then what God will be able to rescue you from my power? They know a God that can rescue them. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego respond this way. If we're thrown into the blazing furnace, verse 17, the God whom we serve is able to save us, and he will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. Oh, that's the key verse in this chapter. Our God is able, and he will. But even if he doesn't, we'll still serve him. That's true faith. We're not just believing because God is able. He is. We're not just believing because God will deliver. He does many times. But we are believing and trusting even if he doesn't do what we think we need him to do. Even if he doesn't deliver us, we'll still serve him. A key element of all of this is they're serving in spite of the circumstances that they find themselves in. Now, it's easy to relate to our current circumstances, is it not? God, we want you to deliver us from this pandemic. We want this virus to be squelched. But even if it's not, we're still going to serve you. And so I would encourage you to show up on Sunday to hear the rest of the story about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And we'll talk about even if not, or even if he doesn't, kind of things. But we'll also talk about when is it okay to disobey those folks who are in authority, to disobey the government, because that may be something we face as Christians in this day and age. So come and see as we continue our study in faith in the face of adversity on Sunday. Until then, stay safe, practice good hygiene, and to make sure that you socially distance and wash your hands. We'll talk to you later. Love you, First Baptist Church.